What up, y'all? My name's Milli the Kid, and I'm gonna kick you some philosophy. Um, let's see. I think everybody been most recently confused about who I am and what I'm doing. And this is just a personal story off top. Once again, none of this shit actually matters. When I say it doesn't matter, it personally matters to me, but it don't really matter to y'all. But I'm just trying to set y'all the scene real quick. Personally, what's gonna get me started on this is the fact that um, people tend to think that the time they spend not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it means that it's time I spend not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And what you're supposed to be doing, let me get this clear, is bettering yourself in life. And by no means am I going to take shots at anybody here. I understand that all walks of life are valid. But when it comes to my walk of life, I like to understand why I take my steps. Understandably, lots of people go through this world with a blind numb sprint to everything, thinking that if they achieve things, that'll be factually what they want to have under their belt to feel better about themselves, when that's not the case. Um, and doing what you want to do in this world is very difficult. Uh, the biggest difficulty, though, is yourself. You know what I mean? So, like, when you have a repressed memory or something that happens to you in your past that you can't seem to comprehend, if it affects you emotionally a lot, your brain likes to keep it, right? Your brain wants to hold on to that, even though you may not comprehend it at that time. Now, the reason you keep that memory and it's hard for you to remember it is because you choose not to think about it. But if you sat down and you actually thought about some of those memories, I promise you, you'd overcome a lot of different things about yourself and learn in perspective that everybody's out here trying to do one thing: become closer with themselves. So, that's what I've been doing. Been coming closer to myself. I started doing music. Um, I don't know what started first, philosophy or music, but I definitely think philosophy took over in terms of what my interest is. Um, I'd probably say that's more of my pursuit in terms of a career. Um, Because music, I absolutely love music and I do it for fun. I'm not saying that I couldn't sell my music. I think my music's better than a lot of music out there, factually. And um, I'm not hating. Anybody who steps in front of a microphone, I give you a lot of credit. A lot of credit. Anybody, period. So hats off to the folks that step out there and try to be creative. Creativity is about failure. But I'm good with failure. So like the pursuit of music in terms of a career really wouldn't drive me, but pursuit of philosophy in terms of a career is something that I comprehend as a challenge because I don't fully understand why I have the understanding that I have, but other folks don't. And that sounds ignorant, but like, hear me out. I don't see things personally in this type of way. I have a personal view to things, and I have a factual view of things. What I do and don't know. Why I think those things may have happened, besides the point. That's my motivation. Once again, at the beginning of this video, I said it don't matter. It don't. Except to me, my personal motivation, what drives me. Now, the most important thing I focus on, though, is facts. Now, I don't let my personal drive void too far off a factual understanding of what had and had not happened and what may be the case if it had or like all that's irrelevant to me. What I do know though is sometimes when things don't work, you can do them a different way. And most of the time, if you take more of the responsibility in your hands of getting that thing done, it's when you're the happiest. It's when you're the happiest of your completion of your projects. So philosophy, I'm not completely with. That's not something that I feel I've came to a completion with, and I feel like as a career, I should be taking that upon myself to understand it better. Maybe push the gaps of understanding, because even though I've had the questions I've had, nobody's answered them. I used to live my life 100% like everybody wants to, and everybody does. And the most interesting thing about that is I would never ask anyone to not live a life like that. Matter of fact, as a youth, I don't think that you're even capable of even wanting to live a life that I'm asking you to live now. I think you should go out there and you should dramatically feel everything as much as you can. And as a youth, it's not your job to comprehend that. It's not. It's your job to be wild as fuck. Go be wild. I agree with that, man. When you get older, though, those things that make you wild tend to be those things that drive you over the edge in terms of balance. There's a healthy way to do everything. I mean, party, there's a healthy way to work, there's a healthy way to work out, there's a healthy way to be in relationships, there's a healthy way to commit to everything. Self commitment to something, though, is you wanting to do something. Now, whether or not you're doing it could depend on whether or not you want to. But most of the time, we struggle with that right there. Because the things we truly do want, we seem to struggle for them. And the things that we don't want to do, we seem to do at ease. And the reason that's the case is because your perception of what you do and don't want to do may be confused and repressed in memories of the past, because you've failed to look at those things in your past and understand why they made you the way you are. So if your life is out of balance, I suggest that you sit down and start meditating, because life's not going to get easier until you do. But I'm here for you. Don't worry. That's what I'm here to do. I don't want your money. I want your minds. Promise you that. Jamie the Kid.